That is now back-to-back losses on the Locky two-step after we started so hot on the year. I believe it was 5-0 to kick off the year, but we have dropped the ball on the last two. Vitor Petrino came through for us, but unfortunately Shamil Gadziev, one of my less proud picks of the year, ends up fumbling the bag and getting finished by Rosenstrike after round four. The Locky Trinity would have been complete considering how easily Christian Leroy Duncan disposed of Claudio Ribeiro. But again, unfortunately, Shamil Gadziev and my overconfidence over there shot us in the foot. But I'm hoping that we can get right back on track to cash another Locky two-step and hopefully even a Locky Trinity. And as you guys know, I normally drop these for the Patreon folks on Monday, so they're able to get a better price than what the public will get when I drop this on Thursday evenings as I normally do. Before we get into the Locky two-step and Locky Trinity, I quickly want to plug the Patreon even more, not just more so for the Locky Trinity and Locky two-step early access that you guys get for it on Monday, but the regional events that are going down this week as well. We have LFA 178 going down Friday night, and then we have ACA 172 going down on Saturday morning as an appetizer to UFC 299. So if you want written breakdowns on those matchups, just to get your feet wet a little bit before we get into the UFC action, you guys can check that all out on the Patreon page. Link for that is in the description below. Again, that's the Lock of the Night Patreon page. All right. Let's get into the Locky two-step, shall we? First one up that we got for you guys, or the first step up, is going to be Asu Almabayev, who's going up against CJ Vergara. Almabayev made his successful UFC debut late last year when he was able to dispose of Ode Osborne by second-round submission. This guy has a great chain wrestling game, and I believe that's going to be very important for him here as he takes on the Muay Thai striker CJ Vergara. In my opinion, Vergara has kind of been overachieving in his UFC career thus far, but I believe there are certain type of guys that he will come up short against, and Almabayev is absolutely one of them. Look for Almabayev to drag this fight to the ground and eventually open up a submission opportunity for himself, but as long as he wins, no matter how, he will cash the first step of the Locky two-step for us. The second step that I got for you guys is going to be Benoit Saint Denis as he takes on Dustin the Diamond Poirier, and yes, I get it, there's a legitimate experience advantage in the form of Poirier, or at least in Poirier's favor, but every challenge that BSD has taken up to this point, he's pretty much passed with flying colors other than his UFC debut. He showcases a very aggressive style, and from the open stance, he loves to punish the body of his opponents, and then he uses that to crash the pocket so he can get his paws on his opponents, push them up against the cage, open up that back opportunity where he's able to jump on it, and then eventually sink in that rear naked choke. Once he gets the hooks in, or even if he doesn't get the hooks in, but once he gets that, his grip around the chin or even the neck of his opponents, he's able to squeeze the life out of them and get the quick to get the tap. And I believe that Poirier is kind of in over his head here in terms of the hungry lion that he's fighting here, the young hungry lion that he's fighting compared to the old geezers that he's been fighting, guys that are looking to have their legacy fights more so. And that's the era that I thought Poirier was in, and I know that a lot of people believe that Poirier was kind of forced into taking this fight. They obviously paid him more to take this fight as well, so I'm sure he's happy to just leave the cage with a little extra couple bucks in his pocket, but I believe that BSD is the hungrier of the two and has the legitimate stylistic advantage here in terms of pushing him in the grappling realm and eventually opening up that submission, and I believe that's what he latches onto and gets the dub. Now, if you put the Locky two-step together earlier this week when I dropped it on the Patreon page, you were able to get it at minus 131. It's only gone up a couple points since then. It's up at minus 134 now, at least according to Bet Online. So if you want to plug that in, you're more than welcome to do so. To complete the Locky Trinity, we're going to focus our eyes on Mr. Jack Della Maddalena as he takes on veteran Gilbert Burns. Now, I believe that Maddalena is closer to his prime than the soon-to-be 38-year-old Gilbert Burns. Burns may be looking to take this fight to the ground, and I know a lot of people are aiming at that Basil Hafiz fight to find reasonings as to why Gilbert Burns will be able to win this one, but I believe Hafiz is a better pure wrestler than what Burns brings to the table. Burns is a better pure jiu-jitsu player. So once the fight hits the ground, maybe you'll have more success than what Hafez did. But I think that we'll see a good, disciplined approach here from Jack Della Maddalena as he touches up Burns over the course of 10 minutes. And then I think he opens up a finishing opportunity for himself in the final round of this fight. I really think that Burns is a guy that's kind of been overrated throughout his career. And I've bet on him in the past. And I know that he is a guy that can come through in certain stylistic matchups. But if he's unable to get the takedown, I don't care how much improvements he's been making in his striking game throughout his UFC career. He's definitely not a better striker than Maddalena. So I'm going to take Maddalena as the final spot here in the Locky Trinity. And if you guys were to lock that up earlier this week when I dropped it, you were able to get plus 180. It did drop a few points here to plus 174 on Thursday of fight week. Again, if you guys want to get these parlays early, check out the Lock of the Night Patreon page, link in the description below. All right, there you guys go. Locky two-step, Locky Trinity. I'll see you guys tomorrow for the 3 best prop bets for UFC 299. See you then. Peace.